Namaste everybody, a bow to the love, enlighten you, and today I want to do a quick video about what you need to know. 5 things that I think you need to know about narcissists that I think will actually help you arm yourself and feel better about yourself when dealing with a narcissist. So the first thing I want you to remember is that it is the narcissist agenda to not see you. So when you are having a conversation as a nice person or as a codependent person, your agenda is to feel seen by this other person. But you can never forget that it's the narcissist agenda to not see you. So it's like, wah, 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 wah. Narcissist is not letting anything in. It's like they have a filter and a screen, and they have a separate agenda than you do. So know that when you go in to have a conversation with someone who's a narcissist, their agenda is to not see you. So if you go in thinking, oh yes, he's going to see me, oh yes, all I have to do is say it this way and she'll get it, not going to happen. Very, very important that you get clear about that first point. The second thing that I think it's really important that we never forget about narcissists is that they have no ability to be empathetic for how we feel. So a narcissist, as a general rule of thumb, is someone who lacks empathy. They do not know what it feels like to feel someone else's experience, whereas codependents, we are naturally inclined to understand how people feel. As a matter of fact, we are probably overly sensitive to how other people feel, and we have a difficult time understanding what other people feel versus how we feel. But so when we're dealing with a narcissist, we're dealing with someone who has an inability to see us and to feel what we feel. So we need to know that this person does not feel the way we do. So we come into situations understanding the narcissist, wanting to see the narcissist, and naturally having empathy for the narcissist. Even the most abusive narcissist, some of us have actually experienced Stockholm syndrome when dealing with a narcissist. So never forget, if you're dealing with somebody who is a true narcissist or who has narcissistic traits, they lack the ability to understand or feel what other people feel, even when it comes to their own children. Very, very scary. Third thing I want you to remember is that it is a narcissist agenda to scramble your brain. So what that means is as you're talking to a narcissist is listening to what you say, and their agenda is to not hear it, not see it, and not feel it. Their agenda is to find a way to poke a hole in what you're saying so they can stick their little egg beater in there or spew a virus into your brain, the computer program that you have in your brain, to get you to a point where you are totally frustrated, feel like you're the one with the problem, and you absolutely have no energy left to go back at this narcissist with some rationalization of yours. So their agenda is to scramble your brain. Very important that you never forget that. The fourth thing I want you to know is to remember that a narcissist knows your wound. What that means is that a narcissist, if you imagine you're wearing a jacket and you have a bunch of buttons on the jacket, and every button represents a deep wound inside of you. A narcissist has figured out exactly what those wounds are. You have to know that, because when you're dealing with a narcissist, and if you come at a narcissist and you want to confront them, what a narcissist is going to do is open up your chest cavity, and he's going to stick, or she's going to stick her finger or a hot poker inside those buttons, and he's going to turn them and twist them like a knife and twist it. That is their agenda. So you've got to know, if you're dealing with someone who's got a narcissistic personality, you've got to protect your heart space. You've got to know that that's what they're going to try to do. And if you know that someone's agenda is to hurt your heart space and to push your buttons, you can imagine shielding yourself with this like beautiful shield, a golden shield in front of you, like almost like a chest plate that soldiers used to wear back in the day, or a bulletproof vest. You can say to yourself, I knew that mother effer was going to try to say that. I knew that son of a beeswax was going to try to use that against me. I knew that so-and-so was going to say that I was crazy. I knew that so-and-so was going to say my own mother thought I was a nut job. I knew that person was going to say that I was negative. Once you know what their game is, then it doesn't affect you so much. It allows you to feel more protective and more secure, more powerful. The fifth thing that I want you to remember is that they are only interested in proving you wrong. So again, healthy people, codependent people, people who have empathy, which is human, If you're human, you have mirror neurons and you know what it feels like to, to imagine how someone else feels. Let's say if God forbid someone dies in their family, or they break a leg, or they're carrying heavy boxes, we can look at a complete stranger and relate to someone walking down a busy street carrying a bunch of boxes, and we can imagine what it feels like to be that person. That helps us remain social. That helps us stay social, as connected to one another. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, it's their agenda to prove you wrong. And you have to remember that they don't have the ability to empathize with your need to feel seen. They will not do it. So no matter what you say to them, the narcissist agenda is to prove you wrong. So going in, if you've already identified someone as a narcissist, it really doesn't make any sense to have conversations with these types of people, because A, they don't see you, number one. B, they have no empathy for what the hell is coming out of your mouth. They have no empathy for how you feel, and they're not interested in relating to how you feel. And some of them don't even have the ability to feel what you feel. Oh, so scary. Their agenda is to scramble your brain so you can be very secure and I know what I'm going to say to him when he gets home, and I'm just going to tell him how I feel. And the minute he walks in the door, he says something passive aggressive. Or if he says, you can't control me. I know why you say this. You know why you do this? And why you say you don't want me to do this? Because you're trying to control me. And all of a sudden, you go from simply being upset that your boyfriend or husband doesn't really care how you feel to be labeled as a controlling partner. And then you feel wounded. So what that brings us to the fourth thing that they do is they know our buttons. They know that people perhaps have called us controlling in the past, and they're not afraid to use our wounds against us. And 5, they're only interested in proving us wrong, which means it makes no sense to argue with a narcissist. It makes no sense to anyone. So I suggest, if you've bumped into a narcissist, if you have to work with a narcissist, if you are actually in a relationship with a narcissist, reevaluate and consider how long you want to invest in a relationship with someone who doesn't see you, wants to prove you wrong, wants to push your buttons, whose agenda it is to make you feel off balance. So it's time to reevaluate. And for those of us who are born to narcissists, the best thing that we can do is identify the narcissistic traits in our parents and learn to heal our own wounds and learn to grow in spite of them. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're interested, you can join me on my Facebook group. I'll leave the link below. In addition, my coaching program launches again January 12th. I'm holding monthly, sometimes twice, 2-3 times a month, webinars to introduce this program. Again, I'll leave a link below. And if anyone is interested in actually registering for my upcoming coaching class, I'll leave a link for that below too as well. Namaste, everybody. As always, I bow to the love and the light that is in you. Namaste.